Got it. Got it. Sound over here. Got it. Got it. Got it. Sound over here. Sound over here. Jesus. All right. I don't know if you guys do YouTube lives through Zoom, but lately when you push the live button, theoretically it's supposed to go straight to the live stream, right? So it'll open up the live stream and you'll get your chat thing on the side and all of that, and you know that everything's working right. Well, lately it's actually been kind of like tricking you. So it goes to it says that it's private, the chat's closed, that no one else can see it, but clearly it's streaming because you can see how many people are watching it now, etc. So that's getting annoying. I did look at some features, and supposedly if I go to full screen on Zoom, it actually streams in 720 now. So if you catch me looking off on the side over here, I got it in full screen over here, but the camera's in front of me. So we'll see how that works out. I might just do it on my big monitor, but I'm kind of goofy to look at. So you just see a blown up version of me on the monitor right now. So well, we'll see how it goes. They apparently the best that they can get over at Zoom is 720. And then in order to stream in 720, one of the attendees has to be in full screen, which makes absolutely no sense to me. But I mean, that is what it is. Until I ever decide to whatchamacallit, what the hell was I looking for? If I ever decide to separate the AMA and SIA from the SEO this week, which I highly doubt I ever will, but if I do, then I'll go back to OBS and maybe put in some more public thought into creating the show a little bit. I probably wouldn't do it live, which sucks for the YouTube folks because you guys get to come in and ask questions, and then that puts me right back to where I was before, where I had to think of all the topics, and with all the other crap I want to do during the day, having to think of topics for SEO this week is not a list of things that it's not a thing I want to add on to my to-dos anymore, especially if you want to do it right. Like Dre does it right, but that guy's putting like 4 to 8 hours into each episode, and just in thought of production, topic, etc., and not counting having to reach out to people and schedule guests and all that, right? So I mean, totally hats off to Dre. That guy's busting his ass doing some really good work with his show, and he doesn't get as many views as I kind of thought he would get, which is astounding to me. And honestly, I think it has something to do less with Dre and more with the people that he gets on. Don't promote his show. Don't say, hey, tell their audience that they were on that show. They just kind of expect Dre to do all that promotion stuff for him, like they're doing Dre the favor of being on his show, when it's actually the other way around. And that's kind of like speakers as well, right? So when I speak at conferences, Digital Underground's coming up next week. I'll be speaking there, and I promote it. I promote the conference, and you guys rarely see me, if ever, give out a affiliate link for a conference that I'm going to speak at, because those guys are allowing me the privilege of speaking to their audience. So the least I can do is let my audience know what I'm doing, right? And if they want to go, great. And if they don't, at least I've done my part, and I've kind of, explained. There we go. All right, it's out. So the other, and speaking of conferences, so I got Digital Underground next week. That's in Vegas. I'm going to be there a couple days early. So if you want to reach out, if you're in Vegas area and you show up like Monday afternoon or whatever, hit me up on Skype. I'll have Skype on my phone, obviously, hooked up. Don't use Facebook or anything like that, because I do check those every day, but normally I just go in and look at the notifications, and then I'm out, and I'm not in there very much. So use Skype. You can get on my website and find me on Skype. I'll probably put Discord on my phone, so you guys can, if you're using Discord, you'll be able to find me there. So I'll be there. I'll be there early. And then I'm gonna get a tattoo. I'm gonna get another tattoo. I mean, I don't have enough tattoos are like crack. You need more. So my back is almost covered. I get the arms, so I'm gonna actually hit my forearm here this time around. I haven't gotten a new tattoo in quite some times. The last ones I got were the ones on my back, and I got those while I was in Iraq. So, and then my next conference is POFU from Semantic Mastery. That's in Boston, the end of September. Those guys are already selling tickets for that. I saw the list of speakers, some decent ones coming in. Peter Drew, software developer, the SEO tools. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's got, he's doing like a call-in version of the talk, which is better than nothing, right? He's at least showing up and helping those guys. I don't know that he's promoted, like, sent out an email to his list, and I know he's got a big list, but that would be nice to help the Semantic Mastery folks. But again, that's POFU that happens in the end of September. I want to say the 23rd-ish. But you'll have to look it up on Google. And then SEO Rockstars again in Boston in October, the end of October. So I'll be in Boston 2 consecutive months, and it has been since 1991 since I've been in Boston, and I'm going back twice in 1 year. So that'll be cool to go check out that city again and see how much it's changed and how much Massachusetts has changed since the last time I've been in that state. So that's awesome. All right, so I wanted to start off. I actually just got like a little topic this week. Not doing the new stuff, but I wanted to show you guys, and I think I've mentioned using tags and category pages for different things, like thinking about tags and categories differently. So I wanted to show you a couple of implementations to give you a really good idea of what you can do with those things, beyond turning them on and off, and beyond should it be indexed or not. I mean, I did a short on indexing categories and tags. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it if you're subscribed. If you haven't, subscribe, man. But let's go over categories and tags. I'm going to show you some live examples. If you're in SIA, I'm going to start dropping the videos. I had a problem with the account. I got locked out of the account to upload the videos, but now we're back in, and I'm going to start uploading the new on-page course updates to the members area this week. And one of those will go over this tags and categories thing in way more detail than what I'm about to do now. But you'll get the high level 1,000-meter view, I guess, or 10,000-meter view from this. So let's do that. Okay, so don't need to see that. It's scary. Can I close this? Yeah, I can close one of them. There we go. All right, so categories and tags. So first, you can go to clintbutler.net. If you're not in the Discord, click on join the Discord. That link should take you there, unless someone has turned it off to be one of those 7-day links. Every damn time I turn it into a forever link, for whatever reason, Discord switches it. So click on that, but it should let you in to the SEO Intel Discord. The public side. So, I mean, I'm trying to grow that community, trying to get more people engaged in that. So, if you have questions, like you like coming at SEO this week and asking your questions, well, now you have the Discord. You can go anytime you want and ask questions, right? And don't be just an asshole. Yeah, I said it, an asshole. If you see someone else answering a question, you've got some insight, share your insight with it. I mean, even if you're brand new, you learned something yesterday that a brand new person today doesn't know. So share and share alike. Okay. All right. So this is a tag page. In this instance, what I am using it for is a glossary, and it's also a Q&A page. So like that, it's kind of 3-in-1. So I changed the permalinks for my tags from tag /tag / whatever, right, to glossary, just because I wanted to be fancy. So when I built this out, that's what I did. And you can see here's the term, and then what is SEO is the question, and in the first sentence, I answered it directly. SEO stands for search engine optimization. That is SEO. What is SEO? SEO stands, and it's answered directly. And then this next two questions, I got more specific on it. And if I was doing this properly, well, I don't say properly, but if I was trying to be all out, I could actually add I got 2 sentences here to get deeper into it, but I could add a third where I cite a source, an authoritative source, in regards to that. So what I've done when you do that is answer your question directly, expand on it, and then cite a authoritative source. And if you do that with all your questions, you're going to have, there's evidence that you're going to have a better chance of being in SGE and actually getting cited, which Google is messing around with and doing better. So when I say cited, let's do a search for what is SEO. And that pops up, and then you see these citations here of where this information came from, and they're playing with different versions of these to my guess is probably a CTR thing, because they want you engaged with this to get more to keep you on here a little bit more, but they also know that they just got a citation thing. And you notice that hamburger, there was a hamburger up here in the left or the right that is gone now. All those citations are in here now. And there's different versions of this, and they're playing around with it. The quotations marks, I don't know that I'm necessarily fancy with it. A savvy SEO user or a savvy search user might know to go check on those things, but otherwise it's kind of could turn into blindness. I would prefer the other one that they have where they actually list the domains right here where they got that information, and then I'd be happy with that. Okay, so that's why you do that formatting that I showed there. Full disclosure, I got the idea from Corey. He was in his course as like one of the 2 things that was actually valuable in that whole stupid debacle was the formatting of answer the question directly, and then his was cite a source, where I expand on it and then cite a source. So but either way you go, you're not going to necessarily be wrong. And then I can add some more information in here. The next step is actually putting Q&A schema in here. So question and answer schema. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Schema.org. Questions. Question schema. And you have the question and then the accepted answer in there. And you can go full nutso if you want to. I'm not going to go full nutso. I'm just going to make it really basic, just like this right here. So there's some different answers. In this case, like this would be a forum. This one, you can highlight a person, so you can kind of play with the eat stuff and say that this person who's the same as, let's use DC Glenn. And this is a question and answer about music theory, and DC is cited. We'll do a same as to his Wikidata, Wikipedia to say who it is that wrote this answer. So now I've established expertise, and then do the answer out and then build links to it. Now I've established expertise and authority for DC's answer, all in a tag page. So tag, created a glossary. I have a list of associated terms. I have a question and answer, questions, answers. I have the Q&A schema on there that establishes expertise and authority. And then as I publish blog posts, those actually start showing up at the bottom of this. All right. So that's one, well, actually it's two. So you can do term, question, and answer, and then leave it at that. Or you can expand on it like I have, and then put the blog post, and then you do a Q&A schema. So there's 3 different things you can do with just a tag page. All right. How do you pick these? It's really based off of your content. In this case, I just like to use in links. Keyword here is positive versus negative reinforcement in e-collar training. If you know what e-collars are, it's famously called short collars, but they're really e-collars. Responsible dog trainers use and know how to do those, and you can actually make it work with the dog at the lowest settings possible, just to like tapping them on your wrist, for example. Just flick yourself on the wrist, and that's what the lowest setting possible feels like. And then all it does is get that dog's attention. And it's if you know what you're doing with it, it's a great thing, right? So anyway, if I'm doing that, I can come in here and I was like, what tags do I need? And it's going to be hard to highlight these. You should be able to see that. So if I'm working on animals, obviously, so I got dog collar, dog training, and animal, and those will be tags. If I was doing education, which I'm like teaching someone how to do it, I get learning, training, learning skill, etc. And I could put those in tags. Technology, if I was doing types of e-collars, there's electronic, focus, there's some chemical, I won't say chemical, but there are some spray types, and there's even just audibles where we just do a sound. So all those would be relevant tags, and you can have all this set up before you even write your content, and these tools that give it to you. So I use Inlinks because I get the nice fancy pretty thing in the colors, right? But you can use Surfer or Phrase or use a combination thereof. Combination's probably best. But you can hit all these tags, and because like if I'm doing a dog training website, I'm going to talk about these. I'm going to use these categories, these tags over and over again. All right. So there's how you figure out your glossaries. Next is this one of my customers. This is another thing you can do with your tag, and see that what they've done is turn these into essentially hubs, content hubs. If you know that term, essentially, this one's on customer satisfaction, and here's all their related content in regards to customer satisfaction. And it pops in, it's formatted really nice. It's nice and clean. You got some pagination in here. You can see that Google's got their pop-up ads in here. Don't use pop-ups, Google says they're bad for you, but it's in AdSense. So how bad can it be really be? And that'll go on. So there's another thing you can do with tags. And this one is a category page, same concept, but they cleaned it out, added some more things. There's a customer journey thing up here to their business loan calculator, etc. And then they have it busted down into grants and loans and the basics and loan tips and all of this supplemental information that leads to other articles on their website. And it's all clean and everything in here. I'll tell you, last year they did $1 million in AdSense revenue in 6 months. So don't let anyone tell you that AdSense doesn't pay. Or that Ezoic doesn't work, because these guys made most of their. We had this website up to $56,000 a month at its peak last year. $56,000 a month, and all they're doing is just publishing content regularly. All right, so it was good content, but because the interlinking and the use of the tags and keeping everything on target. I mean, that's what really makes this website stand out and is doing a good job. So there you go. So that's what you can use on categories. You guys don't need that. All right. So that's it. Now I need a drink. So hopefully you got something out of that. 22 minutes. Again, I kind of expand a little bit on that and creating them and developing them out and all that stuff. I do that inside of the on-page course that I'm making. I know I've been talking about it, but I got like 6 videos already. We got to drop in there. I did make my website. This website here is in live canvas. It's kind of like a baby. I don't want to say baby Oxygen, but along the same lines as Oxygen, different type of builder. But there's some features in there that Oxygen doesn't have that I really like, i.e. I can open this page up and then down here at the bottom, it'll add a window where I can individually add HTML elements inside of here without messing with the builder. Does that make sense? So instead of edit this page and going in there and doing it, I can just open it up and there's the code, and I can change elements of the code, et cetera, that as I see fit, which is really, really handy and cool about live canvas. But it is still a baby website builder. But everything that I do in the course is, you can translate that to whatever you're building. And if you're doing pure HTML sites, you'll love this, because it's essentially the same thing with just a little bit of WordPress magic played into it too. All right. All right. Let's do questions. Open that up. Let me drag this over. I want to drag this over so I can have this in full screen, so the 720 is supposedly showing. All right, so Skylar, good morning, Skylar. Dan, good morning. Clint, do you have any? This is from Jeff. Do you have any tips or advice on anchor text ratios? Yeah, ignore anchor text ratios. Anchor text ratios is bullshit. After Penguin came out, there's a whole bunch of people saying, oh, you can't have more than 1% exact match, et cetera, et cetera. And then a lot of people just can't rank for shit. It's because they're following anchor text ratios. You use exact match until exact match doesn't start moving you up anymore. And then you start picking your entities or your related terms that are in there. Once those are up, you move on to your entities. And then that's how you stay on topic, and that's how you do your anchor text. F anchor text ratios. Alex, Clint, I'm getting good results with rank gear, but I can't even save any templates. Is it me or a problem? Oh, that's interesting. I save templates, so I don't know why you wouldn't be able to save templates. So you're gonna have to reach out to me and send me a video to show me what you're doing, and then maybe it's what you're doing, or maybe it's rank gear. That's the best way to handle that, because I mean, I could default to everyone, Alex, and go, it's because you're messing it up and you need to turn it off and turn it back on again, and then it'll work. but I actually want to fix it. So I'm not having any problem saving it. Let's see. SEO Podin, nice to see you again. Thank you. How do I keep press release backlinks alive? Meaning, how do you keep them sending links you're without buying new ones every month? So a majority of those you can't. Majority of those services use APIs to distribute, and then those API pages, those press releases, are approved by the websites that are hosting the press releases, typically 6 months to years when the pruning lasts. There are some of those sites that don't do the pruning. And so like a Yahoo News, AP, Business Insider, Global, what the hell's that other one? Global something, Global Wire, etc. Those typically stay up, and those are the ones that you build links to. But the 'I'd say 95% of them, you're just rinsing and repeating every month and doing your PR stacking to the good ones. And that's how you focus on that. After watching your tutorial on significant link, it was something that you use on all sites. It is now, Alex. And at the Digital Underground, I'm going to kind of go into that a little bit more. I don't want to spill the beans because then you won't come to Digital Underground. But just kind of show you some different applications of using significant link, not only on your own websites, but on, your guest posts or your pbns or your satellite network. That's a new one from Alex. I got used to saying that, my satellite network. Let's see. Sprague. I work with funeral services and plumbers. Death and stitch. Death and sewage. Can you give me 5 examples of relevant geo pages I can create? 5? No. That's a lie. I can do that. That's a good question. 5 examples. So let's do share screen. Let's do browser. And you said, oh, that's the wrong one. No, it's not. Yeah, it's the wrong one. Stop share. This one. All right. So you said Amsterdam and you spelled it in here, so I'm not going to do it. Here's how you do this. You go Amsterdam and you search, and then you have these entities up here. So here's 2. Well, here's 1. Attractions, top attractions, right? So you have attractions, top sites in Amsterdam. So there's 1, top attractions. And then you can go down some more and see if it pops. But then you have things to do in Amsterdam. So there's 2. And then you have what is Amsterdam known for? And then you can, Google's giving it to you: window brothels, wild nightlife, and coffee shops, often selling drugs. I mean, those are interesting, right? And then you can do related searches. You see these related searches, and never mind. I won't say that. You could do a post about the images of Amsterdam if you wanted to. Images for Amsterdam. Let's see. What's the other ones? You can do a weather post, as I'm walking through, talk about the weather. You can do post about what SGE is giving you. Why is Amsterdam called Sid City? Is Amsterdam very expensive? Is Amsterdam a friendly tourist? That's how you figure those out. And typically you'll notice that as you go through a lot of some of these things, these questions end up being the same. So when you have your SOP, you just, publish a new city page, and then your team already knows they got to do, come in here and find these. And it's easy. It's an easy list to make. So hopefully that answers that question. Back to full screen. Can I internal link from these pages? Well, that's the purpose of those. So if you don't do internal linking to each other and to your location page, then there's no sense in doing them in the first place. When Online Ninja, oh, Jesus, where'd he go? There he is. When building social bookmarks with SEO Autopilot, how long does it take before I can see effects? Define effect, like I told you 1,000 times, I'm using those to establish 25 to 50 referring domains. Those aren't linking. They will link for easy keywords, but they're not designed for linking. So define effect. Mark Hart, what is the best approach for B2B SEO where the manufacturer only sells products through dealers? They want to sell more products, but cannot have e-commerce purchase features on their own website. The best approach for that is, I would go after the products, because if they're like a dealer of something, like an authorized dealer, but they can't officially sell on the website, it seems kind of weird. But again, I mean, I've done SEO for a construction company that installed cell phone towers, and at the end of the day, there's nobody that, like, Sprint isn't going to go to the internet and find contractors for cell phone towers. They work through their networks, et cetera, right? So you really, in those cases, you got branding. And then the other one, there's three, is branding, primary thing to establish the brand of that website and that company everywhere. Number two is find informational topics to help establish brand awareness and traffic. It won't convert. You're establishing brand awareness and traffic. That's all you're doing. And then three is target the actual products and do highlights of pros and cons, those kind of articles to target the products that they're selling specifically. And you can go into product types, which would be number 4, but typically you're just going to end up at products. And then after that, man, it's all branding and word of mouth and stuff. So you gotta I would almost say, look at your traffic, look at your demographics, and then start thinking direct mail, lumpy mail, that kind of stuff to pull that off. Does the golden keyword ratio work? I would say yes, because it's designed to go after long tail keywords, right? And ultimately what that whole concept is long tail keywords, really low competition, typically low search volume, which equals easy ranking. So if you got a brand new website and you're looking to build some trust in Google, using KGR to find those really long tail keywords that will give you some easy top 3 rankings, which the more top 3 rankings you are, the more trustworthy you are in that algorithm, would be good for you, especially for a new website. So yeah, it works. Are you going to make gajillions of dollars on it? No, but I mean, there's some easy wins to do that. Do you know of a WordPress plugin where I can keep track of bots visiting my page? It's a log thing, but there is a WordPress plugin out there. You're gonna have to search for it. Just search for a WordPress Googlebot Finder logger. I had it on one of my websites for a while, and it was decent. The best way is use your server logs, but if you don't have access to those and you're not hooked up to Cloudflare has logs too, then you're gonna need a plugin like that. So just Google for it and you can find it. Let's see. Yeah. Business growth ready. Love live canvas. It's like Dreamweaver online. Yeah, that is not an understatement. That's true. See you in Vegas next week. Dre, appreciate you. Dre, reach out to me. I got someone to connect you with who wants to help you out. Can you tell again about the on-page course? I didn't understand what's coming out and where to buy it from. Boris, the on-page course, as it is built and released, is going into the SEO Intel community. Those guys will have it first, and then after it is all done, I'll sell it separately as one thing on what ranks. So essentially you can just buy the course and pay one price for it, or you can join SEO Intel and get all the benefits of the paid community, SEO testing, plus all the courses and stuff that I put out, that Dory puts out inside of there, all as part of your membership, or you just pay one price for the on-page course and be done with it. It's totally up to you, but that's how it'll work. So if you want it now, you got to go to seointel.com and sign up, and then you'll get it as it's dropped. Andy deleted his message. David, my GMB links to my homepage. My homepage is also optimized for a service painting contractor. What schema should go on the homepage? Local business on about page, service schema on the homepage. I don't know where you guys are getting all this shit, dumbass trainings, and how people are teaching the schema stuff. So your homepage is your organization schema. It ultimately is going to say website, and then it's going to list your brand, and then it's going to have publisher, and then that publisher is going to have the organization schema, and then you can add services to that web page, or has part or is part of, typically has part, and then list your services, and then each one of those service sections would list to your service page. And then if you have multiple locations, you can even list all your locations on your homepage in your schema. And then on your service pages, so painting, and then you're going to do, I don't know, pressure washing. A lot of painters do pressure washing. So you have this pressure washing service. That's going to be web page that is part of this website that is published by this organization that has a part of that is about this service. You can put service in there, and then build that all out too. So let's see. Hopefully that answers that question. Andy Byrne, is there SEO value for using a glossary on a website? Nope. I mean, I just told you guys to do it, so clearly there's absolutely no reason you should be doing it at all. Nope. Boris, so even for plumbers, you have to post non-related to the business. For plumbers, you have to post non-related to the business comment, like subtractions. It's not. Think of it like this: you have a web page that's optimized for 4 cities. Generally, Google allows you to have essentially duplicate content, but you have to have city information inside of that page. Typically, that just means saying the city enough times on each of those pages, so that those pages are essentially targeting that city. If that is your only geo relevance, then you're going to have a really hard time ranking. So the things to do, restaurants in, popular information, climate of, culture of, those type of things establish geo relevance. Where is this web page is about this city, and here's the supporting content that acknowledges that it's about this city. Now you need topical relevance. What's the best way to strip paint off of flashings? What's the best way to prep a stucco before paint? What's the best way to fix cracks in stucco before painting? That's topical relevance. So now you have that part too. So essentially you're making 2 silos. Okay. And it's really, 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 let's say, what's the best way to fix cracks in stucco in Amsterdam? What's the best way to fix cracks in stucco in Berlin? That's dumb. So you can't do that. So that's why you have a geo silo, and then you have a topical silo. Hopefully that clears that up. Online Ninja effect, SEO Autopilot. For me, the effect is higher ranking. Well, you ain't doing that with social bookmarks, my friend. unless you're writing blog posts about the greatest way to pick your nose on New Year's Eve during a meteor storm. Then you can rank for those with the SEO Autopilot bookmarks. Dan Hill, want to show the results for the recent SIA test 671 with all the peeps watching your show live today. We need the taste. Nice try, Dan. Not happening, pal. Andy. Also, what is the method to get images and jump links to relevant paragraph to trigger next under the SERP listing? Under the SERP listing, you're talking in that featured snippet. So one is table of contents. If you have a table of contents plugin, most times Google will use those. They'll use your headings, or if you have a bullet list, they'll go down there and they'll pick the heading for that bullet list. But typically it's table of contents and headings. You can also create little jump links to individual sections and build backlinks to those, but I don't know that necessarily will trigger those features. A lot of those features are kind of like at the whim of Google. But typically I see an increase of those happening in that search result when you have the table of contents plugged in and that goes to it's set to your headings, and then you're okay. And chat. Kyle said Clinton will give you 24-hour free trial of SIA by sharing results. You might have missed it. Yeah, I definitely missed that menu. Kyle said you get 1 free month of IMG if you write him a review on his videos about how awesome he is. Yeah. Let's see. I tried the backlinks to links years ago and it didn't work. Yeah, I have to really define didn't work, because there is a play there. And that play is really if you're going after long tail keywords. In particular, if you write posts like pages like Corey is teaching, which I don't know why you would, but if all of your pages were just a list of questions and answers, then you use the jump links, keep them short to the primary keyword of that question, and then you build links to the jump links, and then essentially you're just and then your anchor text would actually be the question too, and you kind of build topical relevance through anchor texts for those pages. It's a good way, like if you watch, I think it was last week where I showed the Search Console idea. It's a good way to leverage that. So if you see what I'm talking about. Let's go this one. Share. And then let's pretend this is my post. And wow, this is really, look how shitty this is. I mean, that's all. And it's to an internal page. No, it's just the English version. I don't like that page though. So let's pick another one. Lonely Planet. See if these guys did some decent. Amsterdam must-see attractions. Expert guidance to help you plan your trip. Recognize these things to do. Best neighborhoods, day trips, cost money. Where do I find ideas? Right here. They did it for you. Fuck off. I like pop-ups. They really convert really well. But if they're obstructive like that was 3 times now. I mean, seriously. But let's say fuck off. I can build. That's really annoying. Links to this. So highlight it in Chrome. right click, click to highlight, and then what you're going to get is this really long, it's this hashtag thing that takes you right there. So if I click on that, hit return, you see it goes right there. So you can do that without a table of contents thing. You can do the news. This is really a good geo silo hub, right? So if you want to, you could potentially make one of these for your, think about it like a category. My category is Amsterdam. And then up here, instead, you can have this. And then in this block right here, that section, you can put an ad to your location page, and it links to, you can do a link in the content and then have an image and put a link in the image. Now you got 2 backlinks from this page, 1 image and 1 with the anchor text, and then build out must-see attractions. And you could potentially just do a single 300 to 500 word article about each one of these attractions and pick like 10 of them. So now there's part of the silo there. And then you can go and replicate this thing with their topics and just use that as your SOP. Things to do, best neighborhoods, day trips, cost money. And this is your format for that. And then populate those. And then this could be news. You plug this in, just RSS, get RSS to populate this. You don't even have to be as fancy as this, but just get RSS to populate that from news from the city. And you probably skip these, but that would be a good category page. It'd be good geo, right? And let's see how these are interlinked. Let's go here. Heritage. Yeah, and then there's more. These are all interlinked to each other. Some more information, some rings. This is a really good site in regards to building out these geo silos. So I'm saving this one to see how we can map that out and how we can pull that off. That would be, this would be really good for geo silo stuff. But yeah, so in regards to those not working, it's really, at the end of the day, who said that? Nick, it's how you build this page. So let's go to Grindstone's article. I mean, yeah, he's even got a shit ass example. How do I attack my topics? Right. So Grind has this, and he could actually just, build links to that one section right there. And the anchor text would be, how do I attack my topics? And then in the URL, I don't know if you can see it, but when you make these, you'll say how to attack topics. It's in the URL string. And there's and it says use phrase, right? So it's almost created the whole how to attack topics, use phrase. It's given you the question, how do I attack topics? And then it give you the direct answer out of the first paragraph, use phrase, and that's in your URL. So there's something to learn there, right? So if Google's doing it with Chrome, when you highlight it, suggesting it, why not format your questions and answers that way? Okay, so there you go. And then build links to those. And you do that with each one of your related searches. Typically, it's going to be your, those will be your headings, because you write in an outline format, and your pages will rank for more stuff. Let's see, Nick, I just realized something looking back. WordPress canonicalizes those links to the main page. I can't remember if I had a canonical. Yeah, the main page, typically all the SEO plugins now just set self-referring canonicals unless you touch them, right? So that's already good. And then yes, those hashtags, it's not it's automatically in the source code, because the hashtag is not a separate URL, it's a parameter URL essentially, right? Google indexes those, separately. Sometimes and the canonical is really helpful when they're separating, when they do that, when they index those parameter URLs and not the page for the topic, right? When they want to send you directly to that section and they're using the search results to do it, that's when that canonical is good to be there. So, and it's okay if, let's say that you write a post and it's got 10 questions in it and 10 answers and you get 10 different things, but the original URL without the parameter is not ranking, but those 10 are, totally okay with that. I don't care how they get to you, as long as they get to you. And if Google wants to give them index 50 of those parameter things and not the link itself, I don't give a shit. As long as people are reading that piece of content and then that content is doing what it's supposed to be doing: branding, informing, or converting. Terry Power, catch you in Vegas. Not if I catch you first. Taser, taser, taser. Alex, are you going to put your significant link talk on SEO Intel? I'm in the UK and can't get to America. Alex, I will eventually. The AMAs, though, I mean, we talked about that. We've talked about that during the AMA weekly a lot. So yeah, if you want to do that. And what I mean is, I do the question and answer for SEO this week, and then the members of SIA, they get me for another hour where they can ask anything they want, but they don't have to worry about being on the internet. In the whole YouTube world space, seeing it. Well, the whole 40 people that watch my show anyway. Created a sitemap as Hi Clint. I've created sitemap out of the search results pages to be more granular on naming the things. I created a sitemap out of search results pages to be more granular on naming of things. Is it possible to use significant links to power them instead of producing category search results pages to be more granular on naming? So I'm assuming when you say search results pages, you're talking about the pages on your website when someone searches and you have them formulated in a certain way to kind of work like the tags examples or the category examples. So I'm assuming that's the case. And can you use links to power them instead of producing category pages? Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, that'd be totally acceptable. That would be along the lines of, I don't know if anyone knows the very first SEO spring training, I told people create location pages, meaning these are the locations my business is at: name, address, phone number, URL, name, address, phone number, URL, and then build links to that. Don't build it to the location pages, and your location pages will increase. Same thing with the tag pages and the category pages, especially if they're light use category or tag pages, meaning you're not rinsing, repeating, and washing content through there all the time. You know, you don't have one of those, I posted 100 blog posts today article type websites. You're like, 10, 15 regular pieces of content that are always on there. If you build links to those pages that it's linking to will rank better, and it's cheaper doing that. So in your search results instance, you can certainly do that. I prefer not to do that because they are parameterized, right? And they have different queries in there and stuff. But Google, for whatever reason, they're indexing those pages. So, I mean, if you're comfortable with that, doing that, then knock yourself out. Especially if it's a search that happens all the time, right? But if it's, you just making up words and building links to this made up search queries over and over again, I wouldn't do that. But like, I mean, just because it's just weird, but if you want to do it, it's going to work. Any method to get images to appear in search? image title, image URL, keyword optimized, done. But all my images go to the attached. They're redirected to the attachment page, the page they're embedded on. So, and I know a lot of people like Diggity. He just did a video, as a matter of fact, I believe, on image search. I know he sent an email about it. And if I'm sure he's got a video out there for it. So I would go check out Diggity's stuff, because he's intentionally ranking images. I don't necessarily screw with all that. Most of my clients are in Your Money, Your Life, or you saw the other one, the news space. E-commerce, probably image SEO would be really valuable for you. So that kind of stuff. So I would go look at Diggity's video and then test out different methods. But typically I don't stick with them. If I have cool images that my designers make, we'll put them in Pinterest, and then, that links back to us and that generates some traffic. So that's how you can mess around with that. DJ Genius. Any changes you can talk about in the on-page process steps since AI? And this will be the last question. What I've found is that AI for us has really changed a little bit of how we do creating our topical maps, how we do our keyword research, and that flow. So you can go to Bard, Google's Bard, and start off and build a general good information about where you want to go in the keyword research space. And then you go to ChatGPT, use some code interpreter, the web crawler, and some decent prompts, and create different strategies. That site DC Glenn showed, and it's a video on my channel. Go check it out. It was prompt based. I actually found a prompt over there while I was recording that helps with SEO strategy stuff, and it makes you think a little bit more. And that's really the changes to my process with AI. Are we using it for content? Yeah, kind of, but Your Money, Your Life, financial things. I mean, the only content we can really use in those is general information, long tail stuff that builds topical relevance, not so much in regards to credibility, because a lot of those websites don't search very well. That said, ZimWriter has a feature where you can actually go, why is DC Glenn so awesome? So Google search that, pull out the 2 or 3 articles or people that say he's awesome. I'm sure there's more. I'm just busting DC Glenn's balls, but you can pull those 10 URLs, put it into ZimWriter. ZimWriter will send those all to AI, read it, analyze it, and then spit out an article that's unique based off of the 10 articles you gave it. So that's really handy. So all of those tools are generally now for me, other than the custom Python scripts that a member of my mastermind made and he gave me. I use those for supplemental content. I use those for link building, or I'll use them for information websites where I just need to get some topical relevance. But important stuff, people are going to read it. People are going to depend on it. Rehab market. I'm not using AI shit for rehab stuff. And I lied. I got a couple more minutes. Let's see. SEO Unleashed with Yash. Paid membership group or so. Yes, SEOintel.com/join. SEOintel.com/join. And there's DC. I write my schema with ChatGPT. I let the schema dictate the page. Coming is crazy. That's why you must learn how to write it from scratch. The key in DC's statement, where he lets ChatGPT write a schema, is DC went through my course. He knows how to use schema.org like I teach it to come up with your own schema. So when he's asking ChatGPT to create schema for him, he knows the end goal of what he's trying to get out of that tool, and he knows where he's going to put it in his advanced schema templates. Do not, well, I guess you can, if you're stupid lazy, you can go in there and say, write me local business schema, and it's going to give you generic ass local business schema. But if you mess around with your prompts a little bit, get lists of entities for about and mentioned, and get some ideas for descriptions, and get some of that stuff, you're 75% there, and you got to build out into your advanced template in the right order, right? And ChatGPT won't do that for you, but it will do a lot of research for you and a lot of correlation for you, that are pretty cool. Rank Gear is actually getting integrated with my business partner. With Frank Gear, he actually bought topicalrelevance.com. So Joe Priest is no longer involved in that. And he's doing the coding work to integrate Rank Gear into Topical Relevance. Once that's done, he's actually created some crazy ass, like all-in-one SEO system. I've seen like glimpses of it, but he's keeping it under lock and key right now. But that thing is going to be pretty dope. And a lot of that AI stuff will be integrated. And then, like DC said, he sends his articles over the ChatGPT. In theory, if he gets that set up right, the way I envision where he's going with it, you should be able to take your article over there. It'll find, you can give it your keyword. It'll do the about and mentions, and it'll find instances. You give it a list of entities that you used. It'll look in there and make sure that it's there, and then spit out the necessary schema, and then push it over to Rank Gear, and then you can actually write it and finish out your schema that way. That would be dope. That would be dope. What's the name of Glenn's course? DC Glenn? DC Glenn don't have a course. That man's too busy. I can't even imagine him adding that to his course. DC, you want to do a course, man? I cannot even imagine you want to do that. That poor guy. Oh, geez, there's no way. Oh, I get to see him in Vegas too. That's awesome. Yeah, hopefully get there early, DC. We'll get tattoos together. If anything, we'll have a good drink and a laugh about Wikipedia and how quick they deleted me. DC's working on 5 courses. Wow. You're a machine, dude. Okay. All right, YouTubers. Thank you very much for watching. 21 visitors maxed out this week. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you could, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed already, do that. Hit the notification bell. Ding. If you want to, otherwise you don't have to. I mean, I don't turn it on for 99% of my subscriptions either, unless they're really, really cool. So, but all that engagement helps. If you have more questions, clintbutler.net. Click on the join the Discord button, and you can ask questions of me and the rest of the community all day long in there. And then if you want access to the SEO tests, because I do announce them, that's how Dan knows about them, etc. But I announced them in the public channel just to tease all you folks. And you're like, oh, my link doesn't work. You got to join SIA. But I tell you, the test as we publish them inside the public one too. But that free thing is there. I mean, I answer questions in there. I have no problem doing it. But like I said, come in, just don't be an asshole and always ask questions and never say thank you and never help people. doing that just kind of helps you build your knowledge base, helps you answer questions from other SEOs that you may be getting from clients, and you can practice those responses and be a lot better and more convincing and more trustworthy to your clients and keep them a lot longer, or your agency bosses, or to your significant other who's looking at you like, why are you spending all this time on a computer? You can practice answering those questions, etc. So join the Discord. We would love to have all of you. ClintButler.net, right there on the homepage. Click the join the Discord button.